I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Good afternoon and welcome to Camnet TV Midday News. The headlines: VEEP accuses opposition of being behind the splashing of money. PF says it is watching every Zambian judge in view of President Edgar Lungu eligibility debate. Join me with the Midday News in detail after this commercial.
The Bible says, I knew you before I placed you in your mother's womb. Apples and bananas.
Work and wait, and this what you've been praying for.
And now the Midday News in detail. Vice President LUNGU'S says the people splashing huge sums of money on social media platforms could be from the opposition and not the Patriotic Front as being alleged. Responding to a question in Parliament from Mapatizia Member of Parliament Clive Muyanda on whether government has taken interest in investigating PF cadres that are splashing money on social media, Mrs. Winner distanced the Patriotic Front party from the issue, claiming that is the opposition behind the acts. The Vice President was, however, quick to mention that investigative wings have taken interest in the matter and the finding will be availed to the public once the conclusions are made. Meanwhile, the Vice President says government is still committed to improving the country's infrastructure, especially the road network, despite halting the projects that were below 80%. She says the Lusaka-Ndola dual carriageway was below the 80%, hence being on hold until government sources for funds.
Mr. Speaker, the police are already investigating these so-called cadres who are brandishing lots of money in public. And the PF is distancing itself from the purported PF cadres who are seen in several videos that have gone viral brandishing money. This is the more reason why, Mr. Speaker, the police has taken a keen interest in the matter and has instituted investigations. I will not be surprised, Mr. Speaker, to learn after investigations that actually some of these cadres masquerading as PF belong to other political parties. Because they are watermelon, you are right. Mr. Speaker, the Lusaka-Ndola carriageway is not under the 80% completion infrastructure. So that project has to wait for an appropriate time once government has mobilized enough resources. Currently, His Excellency President Edgar Lungu has clearly indicated that the country should not secure more dates.
In other news, as the heat on the eligibility of President Edgar Lungu to contest the 2021 general election continues to wage on, the ruling Patriotic Front has now accused the opposition of intending to bribe some judges to nullify his candidature. Mr. Monga says the PF has intelligent information to the effect that the opposition has set aside a lot of money meant to bribe judges to disqualify President Edgar Lungu from contesting in the 2021 elections. Mr. Monga has since warned all Zambian judges that they are being watched closely and must not fall into the temptation of going ahead with their planned schemes. Lawyer John Sangwa is on record having said that his petition against President Edgar Lungu's petition is already ready on his laptop and waiting for President Edgar Lungu to file in his nomination papers and then lodge it with the courts of law.
As the poll day draws nearer, the judiciary has not been spared from the spotlight of what is ahead, mostly on the issue of President Edgar Lungu's eligibility to contest the general elections. The bone of contention has been that President Edgar Lungu has only served one full term while he completed the other one on behalf of late President Michael Sata, and hence that did not constitute a full term. However, lawyer John Sangwa and PF aspiring presidential candidate Kelvin Fube, commonly known as KBF, have made it clear that President Edgar Lungu is not eligible to contest the 2021 general elections because he has been sworn in twice. According to John Sangwa, once President Edgar Lungu files in his nomination, he will challenge his eligibility. Meanwhile, Friday, Patriotic Front Lusaka Province Chairman Paul Monga accused opposition political parties of planning to bribe judges so that they can disqualify President Edgar Lungu ahead of the 12 August general elections. He says the judges are being watched and warned them against falling prey to the ploy by the opposition political parties to seek to nullify the elections.
I mean, trying to buy, but not all judges give the same. Believing that may buy some few judges, nullify the credibility of our candidates. That's their focus. So put your money to play the party. They are busy putting money to see whom they can corrupt. A judge to nullify our president. We are very much alive, we are aware, and we are watching all the judges in Zambia. Kindly don't fall prey to these monsters who have no man manifest for this country. Don't fall prey to these monsters who have no agenda for Zambia, whose agenda is simply to become the president of Zambia at any cost.
Mr. Monga has since advised opposition political parties to look for better ways of campaigning ahead of the polls, claiming that the PF has delivered according to the expectations of the people.
For members of the opposition political parties, they have still enough time to go in the field, to go and cultivate, find the voters, than wasting money to pay lawyers. Let that money go and buy motor vehicles, motorcycles, staying materials, food for their own food soldiers. That's wasting. We shall see them once they file the nomination. We shall go and say, no, Mr. Kaunda, you can't buy an MP material. No, you don't qualify. What a nonsense. Remember the press? I want you also to remember the press who can dig deeper than all just getting reports. If you really can dig deeper, you'll find me. So what the Monga was saying is true.
At the same meeting, Mr. Monga further stated that the PF will not condone indiscipline among youths.
We are focused towards 2030. We are more focused. So 2030, how many vehicles will be designed? We're highly focused, but with our new manifesto coming now, the question will be, so double for Tuombe, tell us why we're not going to done away. Then we shall do it. So double wa bomba yapita. Now was going so double Tuombe. So double Tuombe walumba bombe. That's what this slogan.
As events in the electoral process unfold, we can only wait and see the outcome of the legal battles ahead. Patrick Soko, Camnet News, Lusaka.
National Development Planning Minister Alexander Chiteme says he will continue exploring new frontiers to build a more resilient and sustainable Zambia. The minister says the Human Development Report provides a full insight insights for the formulation of public policy and other development agendas for countries including Zambia. He says the report highlights the need to move beyond seeking to solve discrete problems with singular solutions, a path that Zambia has taken for some time now. Mr. Chiteme said this in a speech read on his behalf by the ministry's permanent secretary in charge of development, cooperation, monitoring and evaluation, Trevor Kaunda, during the launch of the 2020 Human Development Report in Lusaka yesterday. Meanwhile, UN Resident Coordinator Dr. Kumba Magadio says the Human Development Report provides timely theoretical and empirical reference materials for the development of the country analysis, and new cooperation framework will form the basis of the UN support within the next programmatic cycle.
In 2020, we saw one novel virus threatening to reverse decades of development milestones achieved everywhere, including here in Zambia. The report, as has been indicated, highlights the need to move beyond seeking to solve discrete problems with singular solutions. Instead, we must connect the dots and equip ourselves to navigate complex, interconnected social and ecological systems. The need for this is illustrated by the COVID-19 pandemic, which was both created and has been maintained by planetary and social imbalances. It is further proposed that we need to find ourselves in this new geological age, the Anthropocene era, or the age of the humans. The report makes it clear that the planetary and social imbalances that we face globally are a threat to every country, and that human development that is not in balance with the planet is not really development at all.
Well, that news item brings us to the end of Camnet TV Midday News, but before we go, the headlines once again. VEEP accuses opposition of being behind the splashing of money. PF says it is watching every Zambian judge in view of President Edgar Lungu's eligibility debate. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful afternoon.